Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, April 27th. Hey, the trees are blooming, the pollen's in the air, and the fish are starting to move. We talked to our guys Tom Ott, Lee Pitts, Gentry Gordy, and Josh Herron to find out what's going on your lake. We'll be right back with what the guys have to say. Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, April the 27th. Hey, we got Lee Pitts in the house. We're going to talk a little bit of fishing on two of our favorite lakes. We're going to talk Weiss Lake and Neely Henry. Let's start at Neely Henry Lake right now. What's happening?
Neely is doing pretty good right now. You know, it's that time of year that finally the weather's kind of agreeing with us a little bit. And Neely right now is showing some pretty good fish. The largemouth bite is starting to turn on. It's up there shallow, you know, where we like to fish for them on Neely. Some of that dead grass is got some fish in it now. Wood cover is looking real good. The flipping bite, chatterbait, you know, the vibrating jig, and the spinnerbait bite has been real good. Also, just slowing down, you know, like I said, just flipping up tight against those wood lines, lay downs, any kind of stumps you can find, shallow water, D-bomb, Cinco, you know, something like that has been real good. Wacky style baits, something you can slow down and just put it in front of them, let them come pick it up.
Yeah, I mean, how much of it do you think is actual bedding bite, and how much of it do you think is were fish that are in the move to or from the beds?
A lot of it's transition right now, just like you said. They're up there tight. Some of them are kind of coming up there, cleaning the banks a little bit, getting ready. Some of them are backing out. That's why a little trick worm has been good also. Some of these fish that have already spawned and they're trying to get back in the natural groove of what's going on, and they're just really, really liking that finesse bite, something not really overpowering. They just want to pick that little worm up or that little bitty, you know, creature bait looking deal and just either moving it or just, you know, just something real subtle that they can pick up on.
Gotcha. All right, let's turn to Weiss Lake in the last minute that we've got. What's happening up there? We know you're catching crappie still.
Yeah, the crappie bite, you know, it's getting that time of year where it's starting to slow down. Still catching fish, you know, catching numbers right now. The size, a lot of these fish are postponed, real thin, but still catching some fish trolling, throwing floats with jigs on them on wood cover. The bass bite also is picking up there. You're starting to see some of these fish. You know, it's once again, it's a transition deal. Some of them are coming off the bed. They're starting to heal up a little bit, starting to feed up. Some of them are still on the bed, you know. In some of these clear pockets, you can see them. You can see a lot of fish cruising. And that in turn, that floating worm, you know, throwing something, a Cinco, wacky rig, some kind of something like that. They don't really want to chase that spinnerbait as much on Weiss right now. I've had a lot of guys saying that they'll hit it, knock slack in it, but they won't eat it. So I think that flipping bite is a little better there. Smaller jigs and your plastic.
Brother, we appreciate everything. We will talk to you again next week. Have a great week. Put some fish over the gunnel, brother.
All right, man. I'll talk to y'all next week. See you.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, April 27th. Hey, we're joined by Josh Herron, who's there in his bait laboratory working on some Tato design glides. What's going on right now on Logan Martin and Lay Lake?
Dude, Logan fish are everywhere. I mean, it is crazy right now. You still got fish on the bed at Logan, fish that are just showing up on the bed at Logan. You've already got fry garters, and you've got fish that are completely done and on their way out. We fished the Coos River Team Trail up there last weekend, and you got a whole lot of bites, but it was really hard to keep fish hooked up. It was really hard to get fish to commit to baits. They would smack stuff really hard. And they didn't seem to want to do a ton of chasing around. But I think you're kind of like Lee was talking about, like that floating worm, slower pitching, like Cinco style stuff. I think is going to be your go-to for pretty much across the board right now for shallow fish. They don't seem to be doing a whole lot of chasing of anything. The ones that are up there, pretty much, they got their eye on the prize, ready to get done and get gone.
Do you think that's at any time during the day? Do you think that's going on in the mornings? Do you think, especially with the Bassmaster Open going to be here this next week, are we looking at guys that are going to go hard, fast, early and then have to slow down, or is it probably better to just do slow from the beginning?
Oh, no, dude. We're all over a shad spawn right now. They were starting last weekend. These guys are going to be wide open at daylight. There was a lot of shad spawning in pockets last weekend, and it felt like they were just getting started because I think the bass actually hadn't found most of them last week. So by this weekend, it should be full bore shad spawn at daylight, as long as they can get them going soon enough. But it didn't last long. It was a 30-40 minute deal at tops that they were up, and so it's time to look for birds. There was a lot of shad actually spawning on some docks, like on the side of floats. So it's a really cool time right now. You can do pretty much anything. Like we caught fish in on the bottom end that were already out in 18 to 20 feet, and at the exact same time we caught fish that were in 8 inches of water as far in the back of a pocket as you can go. So right now it's all about getting that quality to commit.
Yep, it sounds like that's pretty much what's going to happen through most of the Coosa chain, especially that lower end. Josh, brother, we appreciate everything. We'll talk to you again next week, my friend. Well, good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, April the 27th. Hey, we're joined by Gentry Gordy here, our resident expert on Lake Martin and Jordan Lake, and we're going to spend a little bit of time talking with him. Gentry, what's going on down there on your end of the rivers?
Yeah, Dano, Jordan and Martin, you got your shad spawn. Like he was saying, man, it's that time of year. It's early in the morning. And I go ahead and speak for Jordan and Martin. More Martin than anything, those shad get up on those big seawalls, for the first 30, 45 minutes till the sun gets up. And it's mayhem, I guess is the best word to describe it. But you'll still, even when that quits, with that full moon, you'll still find some bed at Martin, some fish bedding. 15 foot of water that's pulled off. They're coming. They're there. The shad spawn. As far as Martin goes, you name it. The only thing you got to fight is boat traffic up there right now.
Well, that's always going to be something that you're going to have to deal with the party capital of that lake that it is. So is it get off early? Yeah. Get them done, get off early, or is it can you find a way to be able to function?
No, you can. You just, there's, as far as Martin goes, avoid Chimney Rock, Blue Creek area, but you can get, there's a lot of places on Martin to get away from it. Now, it might be a bumpy ride to get there, but, enjoy the shad spawn first thing in the morning, then see if you can get away from the houses, get in some of those bigger pockets that don't have your population, and you can fish all day. You just got to be careful running across the lake.
That wraps up Lake Martin. Tell me a little bit about Jordan. What's the best way to go there?
All right, Jordan's a lot of the same, like I said, at Martin. One of the best shad spawns I've ever seen was back in Swayback on Jordan. Some of those deeper cuts with the deep sea walls and the docks back in there. Just look for your birds, or even you can see them island back in some of those narrow pockets. I mean, you can't miss it. Get over there, enjoy it. Spinnerbait. I like me and a wacky rig. I use a white one when they're shad are spawning. I'll throw it up there, and it's guaranteed every time. But after the shad spawn, and the shad will spawn up there in the grass as well, which you have in Jordan, not as much as Martin. Back out all the front end of your docks, and your trash pile. As them fish start to transition off of their spring pattern, and they'll start moving out as that water warms.
Gentry, as always, brother, we appreciate the time and the effort, and we'll talk to you again soon.
All right, guys, appreciate it.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, April 27th. Hey, we got Tom Ott, our resident Lake Guntersville expert, who's going to share a little bit about what's going on at the lake right now. What can we expect if we were to go fishing at Guntersville right now?
A lot of boats, a lot of boat traffic for sure. I mean, it's packed. I mean, guys, it's just packed. I mean, it's spring in Guntersville. I mean, you got to expect it. Just had a full moon. So, I mean, everybody under the sun's out there. I think everybody, they've probably sold out of dingers and Senkos and everything else in every tackle store up there. But no, for real, the fish are, definitely on the move. You've got fish that are still on bed. You've got fish that are just shallow coming off bed. You've got fish that are kind of hanging out in that 6 to 8 foot grass line, just feeding like crazy. And then you've even got a few fish that are starting to make their way out to the ledges. It's probably one of the best times of the year. I love May and June on Guntersville just because you can do so many different things to catch fish. This year is absolutely no exception. But if you just want to go catch a lot of fish, you can tie on a dinger, just go fish shallow stuffs. Anything you see, a stump, a clump of grass, flip that thing over there, you'll probably catch fish. I mean, there's probably, I think I caught 8 fish on one eelgrass patch last year. So that gives you an idea how many fish you can catch out there. But any kind of soft plastic, anything shallow, I think the bigger fish have really already done most of their thing. I mean, there's still fish on bed. Those bigger fish are kind of, diamonds in the rough right now from what I'm seeing. There's a lot of fry garters and things like that are hanging around. We haven't seen a brim go on bed yet, and that's when it really gets hot. That's when you swim jigs and your small swim baits are really going to pick up. So, it's just we're in that bust out move. I don't know if it'll happen tomorrow, if it'll happen over the weekend, but it's coming.
How far do you think we are off from the brim bite starting to really, the beds to start developing? Or we got to be getting close, right?
We always look at it the first full moon in May. Last full moon in April, first full moon in May, that kind of thing. The dogwoods bloom, the brim go on bed. We've had those cold nights, the water temperatures have started to climb up there, but we're still in the 60, mid 60s, that kind of thing. I think they ought to be coming. And we've been seeing a lot of brim regurgitated in the live wells. So, it's got to be very soon. I think maybe the shellcracker come and gone already, but the brim they have to go on bed soon. But I just haven't seen, beds like I would be accustomed to this time of year for sure.
Well, Tom, as always, brother, we appreciate the insights, and we will talk to you again next week, my friend.
All right, guys. Well, be safe out there. Tight lines. We'll catch you next week, and hopefully we'll see some brim.
Well, that'll wrap up our Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, April the 27th. Thanks to the guys for all the help that they give us every week to put a few fish in our boats. It's always fun to throw some over the gunnels, and the information that they deliver is always helpful. If you're looking for that boat that you've been dreaming of, if you're looking for service to keep yours in tip-top working order, check out the service department, the parts department at Bucks Island. And if you're looking for tackle, we've got it there at the loft. Thanks to all of you. You are the best part of Bucks Island. We appreciate everything that you do to support us, and we'll talk to you again next week.